time playing games, you'll see that it's Skyskipper because it'll be right there on the screen if I set it up right. I better load up my stream preview just in case. But anyway, here we are. Skyskipper, Nintendo, 1981, contemporaneous with the very Donkey Kong that really kicked them off. And this is a tangentially Donkey Kong related game, and we'll talk about that as we go on. But let me boot this up here. Yeah, so here it is, Skyskipper, the famous lost game that was recently unearthed. We'll look at these screens because this has important game information. Hashtag message. Oh, never mind. We're going to do a little attract mode, and then I'll read those screens when we get back to them. So yeah, this is early Nintendo game. They had a couple of early games, platformers, shmups, that kind of thing. But this one's a little bit different. You fly a plane around a little side-scrolling course. So it's sort of like a platformer side-scroller, but with a plane element. I don't know. It's different. Kind of, I guess, Lunar Lander type games might have existed at the time. Don't quote me on that. Gibbon's very excited to see Wonder Kingdom on the rules screen, confirming for him that Monster World is part of the arcade era. Alright, let's look at this screen. So staring, Mr. Yu, co-staring the King's family, and the guest stare is the gorilla. Wonder Kingdom is conquered by gorillas. Drop bombs on gorillas and knock them down. Touch and rescue all King's family by plane. Meet you at the airport, I think was the next line. And then there's some scoring information. So the idea with this game is that the gorillas have imprisoned all of the royal family, first of all, and I guess their retainers are the card suit things, following a sort of Alice in Wonderland theme, I guess. Although, yeah, I mean, playing cards themselves were always based on that, since they have kings and queens and such, and then, yeah. Yes, well. Yeah, you knock down a gorilla, and that frees the captives, and then you have to swoop in and save them in your plane, and then take them home, or whatever. Well, there's no actual taking home factor. You just pick them up, and then once you pick them all up, the level's over. Yeah, alright, let's start the game, I guess. Or we'll go through the screen one more time, have a look at it. There's a scoring thing where if you get animals or like the suits in a certain order, you get more points out of it. Yeah. See you again at airport. So 4 in a row of the same suit, that's like a flush. And you can get one of each suit. I don't know what that's not really a poker thing, but yeah, one of each suit gives you a bonus, and etc., etc. So, yes, let's get started and we'll talk about what the animals are. So let me see, I'll insert a coin. I believe I can do that, yes. One player start. Now, it doesn't matter how many credits I put in. Oh, actually, it's worth pointing out something real quick here. There are dip switches to this game, and you can increase the number of lives you have. So I've put it on the maximum of 4. I've also put the minimum amount needed for a bonus life. There's only 2 options for that. Oh, I crashed. That's the only dip switches that are there, actually. So that's all the help we're gonna get. But I've already lost a life from that explanation. So let's just crash a few times, shall we? Yeah, Gibbon's talking about the animals. So each suit corresponds to a different animal. Hold on, I'm going to turn the volume of this up because I think it's a bit quiet. Yeah, so that's me, that's the game. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, the animals. The diamonds are rabbits, clearly. The clubs there are frogs. The hearts are chickens, but both of us are not sure what the spades are supposed to be. I don't really... We can see them on the flyer. They're actually on the left. That's the arcade flyer that was put out for the game. Gibbon saying turtles or penguins. I think maybe turtles is probably the only thing that would make sense. They have little feet at the bottom, little hands, but the head is just kind of a blue blob. Maybe they're wearing a hat. It's pretty unclear. Oh, Tonya's here. Hello. How are you doing? Yeah, we're playing Sky Skipper today. Yes. Go. Alright, this one will have a serious go at it. Now, I don't really know what that jingle is. Some of these old games use pre-existing music for their jingles, but I don't know if that's the case here. So while the gorilla's down, you try and grab as many of these folks as you can. Oh, that was a tight squeeze. But that's a sort of hidden joker up there. Okay, plop. Right, so there's lots of gorillas here. Ah! Cool. Just swoop in and grab them all. I like the little hideout here with the sort of skull hat on top. The graphics are simplistic, primitive even, but even so, the character sprites are very colourful and fun designs. And the last one, the queen. Excellent. Bonus. Oh, a mild curse in a Nintendo game. Damn it, I'll escape. Oh my gosh. Tonya's at Disneyland and apparently has gathered a small group to watch as well. That makes me nervous. Waiting for the electrical parade. Tonya pointing out that this game, as part of Nintendo's history, it still wasn't referenced in Smash Brothers, and yet Rhythm Heaven was. Good for them. So there's 4 levels in total. Hopefully I'll be able to see them all at least. Like I said, there's kind of a score chasing element to this game, where if you plan your route very carefully, you'll be able to... Oh! Yeah, I crashed into the gorilla. You'll be able to get extra points by picking up the right suits at the right time in the right order. Is it E-rated in the US? That is a good question. The original release of the game in 1981 would have been before the foundation of the ESRB, the American Rating System Board thingy for games. The re-release on Switch would have had to have been rated. But I don't know what it is rated. Damn is quite a mild curse, to be honest. Yeah, so we do drop bombs on these gorillas, but they're sleep bombs, I guess, because they just have the Zeds. Okay, what's this? A tower. See, they're doing interesting things with the level geometry, even in this second level. Got a flower bed over here. Oh, it's those colours are the French flag, so I guess that's the Eiffel Tower. Okay, that's interesting. We have a bridge over a little river here. And I guess that's Notre Dame Cathedral. No, I don't know. Oh yeah, that's the thing. You have to sometimes be careful about how you bomb these gorillas, because they might be standing over one of the captives, and then you won't be able to grab them. Now, we haven't had a problem with fuel yet so far, because every captive you rescue restores some of your fuel, I think. Oops! Yeah. So, clouds and the bombs that the gorillas throw do not instantly kill you, fortunately. That's merciful. But they will knock you downwards, and then you could run into something. So you can return to the base here to get fuel, as well as getting refills from the captives, I believe, is what I read. Oh! That was somewhere over the rainbow from Wizard of Oz. Interesting. Wonder if that was in the public domain at this point. Yeah, does that really look like the Eiffel Tower? Not really. With those horns on the side, I don't know. It's a bit... Oh! Yeah, those guys jump. Yeah, we might not do all the way through in this run through. Let me see. Oh gosh, it took off. Yep, it does do that. Sorry, I was trying to read the chat, but that's not. Yeah, we're done. Sorry. But I did get 3rd place on the high score list. Let me see now. Just enter my usual moniker. Actually, this is the first time I would have used this one. Excellent. Lovely. Not sure. The credits that, like, the names that are already on the high score list are probably some kind of credits for the game, in a way, or at least people involved with it. I do know that the design was by Shigeru Miyamoto and Genyo Takeda, who is still high up at Nintendo to this day. And the programming of the game was done by Ikegami Tsushiki, just as Donkey Kong and Sega's Congo Bongo were. Yes. So Gibbon's saying that it's rated E on its product page for the Switch release. And pointing out that Senior likes baseball, whereas Junior goes in for shooting hoops, referring to our recent podcast for DK Gerda on Slam Dunk Kong, which is a game that I streamed a while back. Oh yeah, this attract mode screen is showing off something that I haven't been doing at all, which is that you can speed up the plane. That's what button 2 does. And yes, I was having trouble interpreting the sprite actually, because the gorillas, for some reason, they're wearing headphones and shoes, which is fun and silly, but they're also holding something in their hand, which I took to be a rolled up newspaper. I don't know why, but clearly Gibbon has pointed out correctly that it's a baseball bat, and then they hit a ball at you as a projectile. Yeah, so that makes sense. Here we go, I'll speed up, get all those in one, almost all of them. Probably takes more fuel, I don't know. I do know that levels can get a bit more cramped as you go on. Okay. Let's go for that shot again. Yeah, cool. Ah, didn't hop one more time. Great. So the first level's relatively simple once you get the hang of it. Hooray. It's a little bit dangerous there after you've collected everything. You could still crash. Given saying the transition screens play up the Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. themes. So yeah, Given's on board with making this part of the Donkey Kong oeuvre on the basis that the cast page says that the gorilla is a guest star, and the fact that it's made by Ikegami Tsushiki. It's also a Miyamoto game. Whoa boy, that was a bit rough. What were the other connections? I'm not sure. We're going to do another podcast about this game soon, which is part of why I wanted to play it, to familiarize myself with all the gameplay itself and all the levels, instead of just watching a long play. Oh, the spades jump higher. I'm going to call them turtles. No, they're not turtles. They're just not. I don't know what they are. Poor sprite work, I say. Ooh. Okay. So I think it might be more difficult to crash on the ground because you sort of slide along it on your landing gear, I guess. Interesting. Ooh, skated by that. Yeah, Gibbon's also saying he thinks that they're wearing head or ear protection. Well, Mr. U is wearing a flight helmet and goggles. Classic First World War ace stuff. And of course he's flying a biplane. Alright, King's the last one. Just gotta wait for this guy to move. And is this the first appearance of the Donkey Kong Quiff? It could be. Like, the only other thing that existed at this time in 81 is the first Donkey Kong game. So yeah, it must be. DK had kind of a flat head in the original Donkey Kong. But this guy's definitely got something sticking up on his hair there. So, alright. And a big sticking out nose too. So if this is Donkey Kong, how do you explain the fact that there's lots of them and there's different palettes of them as well? Alright. Oh, okay. So apparently the DK and DK Jr. connection from the transition screens that Gibbon mentioned is the little jingles that are playing. 2 of them are reused from DK and DK Jr. Or would it be used in this case? Because I think this predates DK Jr. Whew. Yeah, if you are having trouble with maneuvering the plane, you can sort of rapid fire diagonal. Oh, okay, that's not a death. Crashing into the East End, not of London, but of the screen, just plops you back a bit. Now, what do you think these constructions are supposed to be? It's like a big bottle with something shooting out of it. This kind of reminds me of Lemmings stage design, or Worms, where there's these sort of big structures that represent something or other. I don't know. I can't tell the rules on which animals are going to pop out. Oh! Okay, that was careless. As for why there are multiple of them, who knows? Well, we're going to have to figure that out before the podcast. I'm going to say it's an abstraction based on the fact that it's an arcade game, an action game. There might be 2 characters, like, canonically. Ooh, there's one up high on the tower there. Okay. Just because there's 2 different palettes. They only show the one in this cage here, though. So, ooh. You're dead right. That is the DK jingle. The one that opens the game. Yeah, good call. Gibbon saying that the stage layouts are reminding him of Donkey Kong 3 Daigyakushu, the sequel to Donkey Kong 3 that it was Hudson, wasn't it? They put out on Japanese home computers, which had all sorts of different backgrounds. Now, where are we now exactly? I was going to say maybe a city, but that skull motif on the building there makes me think this is just a small gorilla hideout of some kind. I don't know why DK would be using a skull symbol. He is known for putting his head as a symbol on things. Okay. Ooh. Maybe this is just him going through an extra emo phase. Whoa, okay. Yeah, so you can hit animals with a bomb and it'll make them drop back into their cell, so that's another factor to be careful of. Oh, there's a lot of projectiles going on here. That was very close. Okay, one more real quick. Yes! I'm sure that was its last jump. Oh, I'm flashing. Why am I flashing? Oh, I'm running out of fuel, that's why. So where did I read that animals refill your fuel? I don't know. Maybe that was the Atari port. I will be playing the Atari port after this. Especially if I manage to actually finish the game. I'm pretty proud I've got this far, actually, without using save states, because it's too complicated to use them on main. Oh no! I spoke too soon. This is my last life. Oh no, I've got 2 left. Okay. That's right. You get an extra one at 15,000 or whatever. Oh man, I wish I could pause the game so I could look at my notes a bit or chat a bit more. Oh no! I thought I could just sneak that bomb in, but no. After clearing the 4 stages, it loops back to the first one, of course. Classic style. Hang on, is this the 3rd level or the 4th? Oh, you're kidding! Oh well, I guess we'll be here a bit longer. Yeah. That's me, AAA. It's the sound of me screaming. Yeah, so let's talk about the game. I said before that it's sort of a classic lost Nintendo game. That's because, yeah, it's been legendary for a long time because they developed the game in 1981, around the same time or after Donkey Kong, and sent it out for a few location tests, but it performed poorly at those tests, and so they decided not to go forward with releasing it with a full release. By the way, if you listen closely, the plane makes a little noise when you speed up. Yeah, so the game was never properly released, and any existing cabinets were converted into Popeye arcade cabinets, which is actually another Donkey Kong connection, because the original idea for Donkey Kong was for it to be a licensed Popeye game, with Popeye taking the place of Jumpman, and Bluto being DK, and Pauline being Olive Oil. That fell through at the time, so they made their original characters, but they later made an actual Popeye licensed arcade game. And then that ties into the port for the Atari 2600, because Parker Brothers licensed Popeye for a home conversion release. And as part of that license, they negotiated for the license for Sky Skipper as well. So even though Sky Skipper never got a proper release at the time, it did have a home conversion at the time. It's like a conversion of something that nobody had ever actually played, you know? So it's kind of a strange side note in the story. Well, that was quite a throw, actually. That Kong has quite an arm on him. Or what is he called in this game? Just Gorilla, I guess. Bit of a pseudonym, I think. This might be the most clothes that Senior has ever worn in his senior form. Actually, thinking it through, he was wearing a full business suit in the German Club Nintendo magazine comics. I don't remember if he was wearing anything when he ran the Golf Shack in NES Open Tournament Golf. He's usually just naked until he started wearing a tie in '94. Damn it, I'll escape. That's a different jingle, by the way, but I'm not sure what jingle it is. Alright, so we're back up to 4 lives, and this is level 3. I could have snuck into that frog, but a bit risky. Oh! I have to go down there sometime. Okay, let's go. Yeah, that all stopped, of course. I feel like the face characters will stop jumping earlier than the animals. Or maybe it's that they have shorter jumps and each one only does a certain number of jumps. Yeah. It's a reasonably complex game in terms of all the situations, mostly brought about as a result of the level design. You're doing the same thing every time, but I think there's a bit of variety in how things play out just because of how the levels are laid out. Because there was a bit of a hot take when it was finally released quite recently that, oh, there's a reason it was never released in the first place, because it's not good. Whoa, okay. Saved it, just. I thought that would dissipate a bit quicker. But I'm finding this pretty decent, although I haven't got to the end yet. Pretty close to the end. I think after clearing it once, I won't have much of an incentive to come back to it, but then I never was much for score chasing games and repetition. Alright, so that's stage 3 cleared. I hope you can hear that jingle. It's not even just reusing the DK theme, it's like a remix of it. It's a new arrangement of it, so pretty interesting. Okay. I see Gibbon's chat there, but I can't really take the time out to read it all right now, sorry. Okay, this is what got me in trouble last time. The bombs sort of carry the momentum of your plane. I'm not sure if they get more momentum when you're going faster. Oh, come on. Yes, okay. Ooh. Good gravy. Okay, keep an eye out on the level structure here. Do you think it's meant to represent anything? Oh, golly. Okay. When that gorilla is not standing over the Joker. Great. Bit hard to judge with the size of the sprites. Oh, there's a roof. Whoops. Oh boy. I need to go back over there. I think that, yeah, there's the queen up there. Oh, that's the same trap I fell in last time. Okay, it didn't throw straight away this time. It's gonna do a jump. What are you throwing at, dude? Okay, cool. So, alright, the projectile can actually pass through you. It's the explosion that does the damage. Oh, it just dissipated in time. Alright, let's get back over there. Last plane, people. My last chance. Oh, I could sneak under that guy. Jump, man. Yes. What a beauty. Ah! That's satisfying. dropping the bombs like that. Landing a good hit. Should be using them all, actually. Just to get rid of these guys. Alright, let's sneak in here. Good. Okay, just the Joker. Gotta be careful. Turning around will... turning any direction will also adjust... Ah! Oh no, my fuel! Okay, let's go back. This is genuinely nerve-wracking. Okay, okay. Whew. Nice. No, don't go up. I want this chicken. Great. Okay, now I can just sneak one in on this guy. Oops. Okay. Oh, that was close. Oh my goodness. This game is too intense. Oh no, there's so many gorillas at this part. Oh my goodness, what happened? Okay, I ran out of fuel. Right when there was just one frog left to rescue. Oh golly. Wow. Yikes. Yeah, so I think getting damaged by an explosion or something will actually drain some fuel, maybe. Alright, let's catch up on what Gibbon was saying. So, Wonder Kingdom, mentioned in the screen here, that was the name of the kingdom prior to Wonder Boy 2, when it started being known as Monster Kingdom due to the dragon's curse, and the name then stuck. So there is a connection. Didn't you say there was a gorilla boss in Wonder Boy? No, Monster... Which one? The first Wonder Boy, I think, yeah. Oh yeah, he says it right here. Wonder Boy 2 does feature a Kong mini-boss, which he's going to talk about in the Kongs in Other Games episode when we get to that. Yeah, good call. Gibbon's wondering who they would have changed, who the Sea Witch would have been had the Popeye license not worked out again if they converted it into a DK game again. I haven't actually played the Popeye game. Apparently there's a Sea Witch in it. Yeah, we could have got a new character in Donkey Kong, I guess. Because there's only a few characters in the arcade era in total. Gibbon speculating about the thing on Kong's head, on the gorilla's head, an operator's headset maybe, to go with the theme, like if the Kongs are anti-aircraft personnel. Looking at the panel art, can't make out what the spades are supposed to be. Oh, he's saying he thinks that spades are mushroom people. Oh boy. There's a can of worms. Interesting. What does that imply if they are? That Wonder Kingdom is part of the Mushroom Kingdom, or Mushroom World, I should say. Yeah, it wouldn't be too out of place, I guess. Of course, that does ruin my regular fanon that Donkey Kong games take place on our world, and then during Mario Brothers and also DK94 you see the Marios going from our world to the Mushroom Kingdom, which is also represented in ancillary media at the time, like the cartoons and even the live action film. So if there's something that involves Donkey Kong, I feel like it shouldn't also involve Mushroom Kingdom stuff, if you get what I mean. That's my take on it. Oh, that is actually intriguing, given he's saying that that implies that the reason Peach's parents aren't around or seen during the well, during Super Mario Brothers, but it really ever, is because the Kongs kidnapped them. And I believe he's linking to... Oh, I don't know what he's linking to there. It's an image that was hosted on Nintendo Life about Sky Skipper. Cool, I can do this first level pretty well now. Maybe I should be trying to get good combos for more points so I get more lives. Because while I don't particularly care about scores in and of themselves, if they give me more lives, that'll help me finish the game easier, right? I wonder if I can pause. If I press escape, I will just quit the game. The tab menu doesn't actually pause what's happening. So we're back in Paris. Yeah, how do you explain the Eiffel Tower? How did the Kongs get to the Eiffel Tower? Because those are definitely the colours of the French flag. And then, they're in the right order. I gotta do this. I gotta finish the game. This is genuinely tough. Yeah, so picking up successive symbols pushes the other one off the left side of your symbol counter. Wow, good at climbing, clearly. That's one of the classic traits of Kongs. Yeah, so I think you can make like multiple combos with the same things if you collect them in the right order. Sort of like a hat trick, how if you get 3 outs in cricket, right? This is very much a non-expert speaking, but if you get 3 wickets, that's a hat trick. And then if you get 4 wickets, it's a double hat trick because the 4th one counts as another 3 with the 2nd and 3rd. Does that make sense? Oh! The knockback is extreme. Okay. 2 more to get. And then 2 more levels. Alright, I think on my next run through, I am gonna try and use save states. Oh, that was just ridiculous. How can it hop up so quickly? Let me figure out how I can do that. Return to prime menu. Input general. Other controls. I can remap them, can't I? Surely. No, it's not in there. Player 1 controls? No, use interface. That'll be it. Now, let me see. Oh, I have remapped it. Why did I remap it like that? That's dumb. Let me see. I'll do this. And then I'll do this. Oh, the power coursing through my veins. Why did I not do this earlier with every MAME game I ever played? Oh, by the way, I figured out how to make a controller work with MAME. I know I've had problems with that in the past. Okay, so testing. Oh, 1? Okay, and then, yeah. Alright, that's fine. So, we're definitely going to beat this game now. So the picture that Given posted is a nice shot of the arcade control panel that shows the spades. Interesting. Is it a different piece of artwork than what is shown on the flyer there? Yeah. Curse you. I think that's every time that sound happens is because I've made some kind of combo. All in the same suit and all in the same color counts as combos. should just be knocking down every one of them. Bombs cost nothing. They might take a bit of fuel, maybe. That seems like it would be game design, but I don't think that's the case. And yes, it is different art. Alright, I'm going to click on that. Oh, huh. They really do look like their heads are bowler hats. Okay, how do I say it again? Like this. Okay, cool. Yeah, baby. Hold on. Yeah. They look a lot like the cards from Alice in Wonderland. The other animals sort of have animal bodies with a symbol printed on them, but the spades really look like they're 2D, like they're just pieces of cardboard, you know? Interesting. So yeah, seems to me like they're cards with hats. But no heads, just hats. It's very odd. And it really doesn't match the other ones, which is kind of distressing to me. The Atari conversion actually fixes that. It has a different set of animals, and all 4 of them are animals. But we'll get to that when I get to that game, which will be soon, because I'll be beating this one in no time flat, trust me. Cool. Alright. Wild bombs. Alright. Yes, good. That's this side clocked. Good time to save. Hey, get slept. Yeah. Woo! Alright. So we should talk about the game and how it was not released. I think what I read was that there were about 10 cabinets, and 9 of them were converted into Popeye cabinets. But the other one was stored in Nintendo of America's headquarters, at least for the American side. There might have been other ones in Japan as well. I know they had the original code or something because they were able to provide it for the re-release, something like that. But for the original, cabinets that they made for the location tests, 9 of them were reprogrammed into Popeye boards. And so I guess the story of the digital release recently is that they took that board from the one that NOA had, I think. Details. You know, when we do the podcast, I'll be able to refer to things as I talk, so there might be better information. So they dumped the ROM. They got Hamster to do their usual magic for the Arcade Archives series of releases, and they put out a really good port of this game on the Nintendo Switch in, I think, July. No, it was 2017. And I don't know, I guess that's it. That's the whole story. They released the game, and it's got the nice options, screen options, dip switch changes, high score mode, caravan mode, all that stuff. Supports 2-player. It's just alternating. And yeah, it's available for purchase for now, because every console has a limited lifetime, as we know. Eventually they're going to make a new console, and there'll be a time when the game hasn't been ported to the new console. Maybe it never will, and whereas the old one will eventually have its store shut down, as is happened to the Wii. It's going to happen to the 3DS and Wii U eventually. The new EU regulations mean you can't add any eShop credit via your debit card after September. It's just the first step in the death of those consoles, I guess. But anyway, point is, Nintendo acknowledged the game and re-released it, which is kind of a pretty big win, actually. But in what's unfortunately fated to be a footnote to the saga of Skyskipper, there was a kind of pretty serious restoration project in the works for a while there, until, well, it's not as necessary anymore now that it's had that re-release, but it was still a really cool thing that happened. So it started in hold on a second, I'm sure I wrote this down. You know, I scrolled through their timeline to check when it started, and then I didn't write it down. I think it was 2015, when a guy found a Popeye PCB and started restoring it and tried to revert the programming on it back to Skyskipper, because some of the existing Popeye boards previously had Skyskipper, the Skyskipper ROM on them, and they were able to take a couple of those boards and restore them and get the original game on a PCB, like. And then after that, they recreated the cabinet, and I think what they do with that now, the project is essentially complete at this point, and I think what they do with it is take it to conventions and events to show off and have people play it. But for a while, it was the only thing going on with Skyskipper, and was sort of getting eyes on the game, I guess, which helped with its notoriety and made the eventual digital release, I guess, more recognized, possibly. Okay, that's that. Is that the fourth level? Am I done? Did not recognize that jingle. Given said there was a DK Junior jingle as well, but I didn't pick up on it. Alright, so that's it. We've cleared the 4 stages from the arcade game, and although I used save states there, did I actually load from them? Like, I cleared that really well, actually. I'm proud of myself. Did I die at all? I am an arcade master. I'm the best. Anyway, yeah, cool. So that was a cool project. Their website's still up. They not only worked to restore the game, they also recreated the cabinet art, and they were invited to visit Nintendo of America to see the one existing cabinet that they had, and they took photos and scans of the artwork that was on that cabinet from the time when it was new, and they recreated those art assets in high resolution, which was very nice. Given's connecting this to DK Junior as a precursor, explaining why DK is in a cage in the start of Junior. So does that mean that Mr. U is Mario, maybe? I was thinking that Mr. U could be Stanley, just because I wanted to throw the guy a bone. He's only got a couple of appearances, and he's cool, and he has a big nose, which fits the artwork of Mr. U. And he is, you know, well, let me see. Whoops. Anyway, we're done, I think. What's the time? Yeah, oh, we've been going at this for a little while, so I'm going to stop this game because I've sort of seen all the content of it now. I actually did notice during that previous stage that the Joker was in a different place. So on the second run through, of the game after you've cleared the levels once, there are variations in the stage layouts apparently, and there's going to be different, slightly different challenges to them, it looks like. But I'm going to just make a save state there. Totally. Gibbon with his gory detail headcanon. Stanley is a paratrooper as seen in Parachute Stan on smartphones from Gory Detail, Chris Seaver. And the other guy. Yeah. It makes sense. It fits. Stan Ottershaw. Kind of a... Is it First World War or Second World War pastiche? Because biplanes is very much a First World War thing. Anyway, let's go play the Atari version. So, quit this. Switch over. And let's see what the Parker brothers were able to do with it and how it's different. So, this should... No, I have to change this. That one. Okay. Cool. Reset. Yeah, now if you're familiar at all with the port of Donkey Kong or even Junior to the Atari 2600, you'll know that, I guess start. Yeah, you'll recognize the sort of graphical style that we're working with here. Now the mechanics are all the same, it just is a little more primitive. The bombs don't have a ballistic arc, they just drop straight down, but we have to hit the gorilla in order for these animals to pop out. We can't see Mr. U in the plane here, but he's definitely there on the box art. On the right side of my screen I've put up the 2600 box art, which pretty well captures the style of Mr. U, just has a different kind of shading style to it and different outlines and that. But he's pretty recognizable. The gorilla, on the other hand, is very different from what Miyamoto drew on the flyer. And for the cabinet, first of all, he's not wearing shoes or the headphones or whatever they are. He's not wearing anything at all, and he's in a very different kind of graphical style or artistic style. Also, he seems to be holding a coconut. Although I've kind of cropped that out, unfortunately, but you can look up the 2600 box art. Bing! Almost ran out of fuel there. But yeah, it's replicating the mechanics. The stage layout's a little bit simpler, I guess, but it's still pretty interesting. And, you know, we don't have the... Oops! That's a death. I can save, right? Yes, I can. Great. Yeah, we don't have the whole card suit mechanics here. Oopsie. Yeah, I'll just load my previous state there. Cool. Wee, Atari games. Yeah. Given saying that Parachute Stan is a Second World War-ish pastiche. Right, so I was talking about the animals in this game. We can actually see the sprites. I think they're pretty recognizable as different kinds of animals. So we have cats down here. I was just... Oops. I just rescued the turtles before that, or tortoises. Nuts. You know what, let's just die. We'll start all over again. That's cool. Be a bit more save state happy. Okay. So yeah, turtles down there, cats down there. Oh. Yeah, I have a rewind button too. I'm gonna use it. I'm not sorry. I want to see how many stage layouts this was, because I tried to look up how many level layouts there were for this port, for this conversion, but I couldn't really find that information from a quick search. So yeah, turtles, cats, rabbits, and I think ducks. Yeah, ducks. The manual for this game, which has been scanned online, does go into, yeah, it does say what the animals are. So even if you can't recognize them, which I think you can, we know what they're supposed to be. So yeah, they do look a bit more like ducklings to me, but yeah, I would be happy calling those ducks. So that means that the only animal that's in common between the two games is the rabbit. And they're not anthropomorphized like they were in the arcade version. They're really animal-ish, if you know what I mean. Yeah, baby. Atari. Oh, and we don't have a speed up button either, by the way, which actually I would really like at this point, because this plane is quite slow. Cats, chicks, turtles, rabbits. Yeah, well, if they are chicks, then there is chicken crossover, actually. Oh! Those mean old gorillas. Actually, in this case, in this conversion, the kidnapping is a little bit less motivated, because why are these Kongs imprisoning random animals? In the original game, they were sort of the royal retainers, and it was as part of a power coup or something, which makes a bit more sense. Oop. Also, I appreciate the fact that you get plain engine noise in this game, in this version of the game as well. That jingle's quite loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Ooh, okay. Because we do, as we know, Atari games can have quite piercing tones. I think we might be back to the first level now. But as with the arcade game, a new cycle brings new challenges, and here we have clouds as obstacles. Inside, for some reason. In the arcade game, the clouds were outside, of course. But this place has walls and a roof. So, I don't know. If you have a large enough structure, you do get micro weather inside it. So, in a big enough building, it's possible that there would be clouds there. And I guess room to fly a plane as well. But I feel like this building is not quite big enough for that. So the animals are different. We're inside the whole time. How does this fit in with the other game? I'm gonna say this is a sequel, and we're penetrating inside the Kong's, like, what do you call it? Headquarters, whatever. Maybe we're in the caves of Donkey Kong Island. And why have they captured the animals and not the royals? Well, they got them all at the same time, clearly. But rescuing the royalty was a higher priority than these other animals. So this is like part 2 of that story. Cleaning up whatever else was left. There you go, there's my theory. Copyright me. Oh, if I had thought about it, I would have the scan of the back of the box and be able to tell you some more context on what's going on, but nope. Oh, the plane has gotten faster. This is just what I wanted, but is it a curse in disguise? It's maybe a little easier to collide with stuff when you're going faster, but right now, I don't mind this at all. It actually let me get all those animals in one cycle, so... Yeah, this is the 3rd cycle through the game and the most difficult, where your plane speeds up. You can skip to this difficulty stage straight away with the select button on your Atari. But also clearing the game through on a cycle will get you onto this loop. Yeah, so I think it's 3 different level layouts here. do like the faster plane. I was gonna stop, but it's more fun when you're going faster. That's all there is to it. It's not as ponderous. The Kongs really are not threatening though. In this game, they act like glorified switches. You hit them and then the animals come out. They're not attacking me or anything. I wonder if they can hurt me. Yes, they can. Oh! Oh. Mm. Cool. Yeah, so Mr. U is such a strange thing. It's clearly that whole video game protagonist as a cipher of the player kind of thing, but really unsubtle about it. But it really doesn't tell you anything. I like my characters to have, you know, a character, a personality, to be somebody. Certain games aren't really interested in fulfilling that. So this is what, the 4th loop of these levels now? They've added more clouds. I don't know what they're going to keep adding. But I think, I don't know. Should I keep going? There's not going to be much more to see, I think. You know what? Let's do it. I'll keep going. Another loop. Final loop. We can do it. Like Mario, Stanley the Bugman. This builds a universe. If it's you, that doesn't mean anything. Anyway. It's just kind of a rant. It means we gotta read into it ourselves and make our own theories. I think it being Stanley really does tie into... Well, it ties into Gibbons' headcanon, so that's good. Good for him. It ties into his status as like the forgotten protagonist of Donkey Kong games. But Gibbon did point out that having DK in that cage ties better into DK Jr., which would make it Mario. But then again, I guess Mario and Stanley could be in cahoots. Maybe Stanley had DK in a cage and was taking him, I don't know, somewhere. And then Mario was like, nope, mine now. Or he like handed it off to him. I don't want Stanley to be a bad guy. Mario is definitely a bad guy in Junior. He's taking DK back to the circus, presumably. Because that's where he started before Donkey Kong. Or the zoo, or whatever it is. In whatever version of the story. And that's just sort of viewing DK as property, which does not sit well. How many loops have we done now? Are there 3 levels or 2? I'm losing my mind. I don't know what's going on anymore. I think that might be a good place to stop. Oh, I pressed start and it like restarted the game back to the beginning. Can I just, let me see. I can save there. There, I've got a save state. If I ever want to come back to this game. Alright, I got one more little surprise to finish this off. The only other acknowledged appearance of Sky Skipper in a Nintendo game. But I'm going to check my notes before I do that. Yeah. Speculation that the reason that the Arcade Archives release took so long was due to legal issues with Ikegami Tsushinki, which also held up Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was released earlier, so if that being the case, then there's no reason to not release Sky Skipper. Blah, 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 blah. I noted the fact that the restoration project's last post was about a year ago, and they haven't said anything since then. But I guess that might be because they've really completed their aims. Alright, that's what I had. Let's get on to the special bonus surprise. Okay, hold on. Okay, now you might recognize... Oh, can I reset this? Ah, whatever. Yeah, creatures, etc. You might recognize that from, you know, Pokemon Pinball. This is a game by Jupiter and Creatures, the sort of Pokemon spin-off team, really. Let me see. I guess Creatures does the main games too. Do they? No, they don't. Creatures does spin-offs, Game Freak does the main games, although I think Creatures might collaborate. Anyway, point is, this is Game Boy Camera, and I can make Mario dance faster and slower. Now, I don't actually have the camera peripheral, but I've loaded the software. So if I go to shoot and try to shoot, it doesn't see anything. And I can save my completely blank picture, so we can do whatever with it. But this is an example of a game that has a similar sort of, like, I don't know, just the interface of this game is absolutely insane. It really reminds me of things like WarioWare, with just the sense of weirdness and fun that it has with everything about it. So we're going to explore some of the menus of this game. We can't take photos, but you can still like edit some stuff that's already there. But I guess the first thing I want to do is... Wait, what is that? Oh, okay, so these are like animated versions of the cartridge. This is what they look like. You slotted that into your Game Boy, and the big round thing is the camera. Press select, it turns around and it opens up. Was there a battery slot in the Game Boy camera? I'm not sure. But anyway, we can... you press select on this title screen to get to this screen. And then pick link, and there you go. There's your Sky Skipper acknowledgement. Despite it not being released as an official Nintendo product until 2018, it exists here. So at least that's what I've read online. Like, the King and Queen, they're very generic, aren't they? But it is recognized to be taken from the artwork from the cabinet. For some reason, the king is flying now. I don't know why that is, but... And the frog, you know... Actually, yeah, look at the frog on the flyer on the left, and then compare it to that frog. They're the same. Anyway. So, yeah. Why doesn't the frog have the symbol on it in the artwork? I don't know. Either way, here you go. We have a mouse cursor virtually. I can't do this. Okay, a chicken, great. By the way, while we're here, the article about this game on TCRF, the cutting room floor, is just excellent. There's a lot of changes in this game from the Japanese version to the international version, as well as there being two other like SKUs of the game. There's a special Zelda edition for the international market that has Ocarina of Time based assets in it, and there's also a Korokoro Comics version for the Japanese market that has images taken from popular manga of the time. But this is the stock international release that I'm playing here, and we can see a Game & Watch reference. This is from Judge, the two-player game. But every screen in the game has these kind of references that may be obscure in some cases. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit, actually. It's quite loud. Yeah. So Mario in this race car, I'm not sure where that's from, but that's definitely from something. It rings a bell, but I'm not sure. So this is the blank picture, or this is a previous blank picture that I took. This is the blank picture I've taken just now. I don't know what this does. Yep. Okay. Right, so you can put these little doodads down and then change what they do and the effects that happen. So this one's just gonna... Oh, why are they flashing like that? That's awful. I don't know. Those little characters are sort of a mascot of the game in a way, because they pop up in a few different screens. Alright, compose menu. I don't know what this is. Oh, so you can pick different pictures from your gallery and then fuse them. And there's different music tracks on every screen too. It's amazing. So this is a picture that was taken with the camera and is preloaded into the game as an example of that. So we can do doodles. Yeah, baby. So that's now saved onto that image for all the other parts of the game. And let me see, there's some other Donkey Kong stuff in here that's related. So we've got the eye, but there's many stamps that we can add. Facial features, different themed things. No, hang on. Like ears, little angels. The ghost, that's cute. Yep. There's just all sorts of stuff, and all these stickers are different between the different regional releases as well, or at least some of them are different. Gen 1 Pokemon sprites are in here, including Mew, my favorite. My favorite Gen 1 Pokemon anyway. Let's keep going. No, not exit for now, because we didn't get to the main event. So Mario, Luigi, DK Toad, Mario's nose. Or is that Luigi's nose? No, that's Mario's. And Lakitu, but yeah, his DK. A completely unique sprite, possibly based on artwork that I can't recall right now, but this is senior as of DK94 with the tie, with the top cowlick, but recognizable facial features and body shape that distinguishes him from Rare's DK, aka the grown-up junior. So yeah, that's the Donkey Kong thing. You can also, well, let's just go to this menu first. Here's a picture of a dog. Album just takes you there to delete. Wow, this is crazy. This is totally a Mario Paint interface. And this is why this game is cool to me. It's that kind of Mario Paint or WarioWare type. Just wacky, you know, interesting UI stuff. And this is just scary. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Oh, Gibbon recognizes the DK art. Yeah, lay it on me. You track that down, let me know. That's good to know. The Japanese release of this game had some writing on the bottom of the screen on this screen. It was like Hip Tanaka's nickname or something, but I don't remember what it was. You can find that on Cutting Room Floor. Okay, so there's our marvelous creation. Did I see all the stamps? There's another way to get to the stamp menu, isn't there? Yeah, by this you can print it there. It's like you go to the picture here, and then there's like a share menu. You can then paint stamp, put different frames on. Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. So there's themed frames, which are also different on the different releases. Is that sort of a Yoshi's Island type look? Not sure. Might just be like cake decoration or something. Oh, that's cute. Reminiscent of Super Game Boy border art, some of these. And by the way, this game, the Game Boy camera game, can be inserted into a Super Game Boy and has a unique border artwork for that, which is just sort of a yellow and blue. It's pretty plain, but it's specially programmed in for it. I like that one. Sort of wrought iron framing. Alright, what else? Let me see. Comment. Oh, you can add text. Oh, like metadata. There's that orb with the eyeball that I was talking about. It'll just pop up from time to time. Anyway, I was checking if there were more stamps because I wasn't sure if we got to the end. Yes, okay. Oh, there's just letters from here. Okay, different fonts. Special characters too. Actually, I think there were like emojis. Hang on a sec. Mobile phone symbol, that's a classic Japanese texting thing, pre-smartphones and stuff, yeah. So here's our little faces. I'm gonna put that. No, that doesn't fit on there because that's a face already. Yes, save, but I don't think we'd finish checking out. Yeah, different fonts. That's a nice one. I wouldn't mind getting that actually. Oh, Japanese numbers and then days of the week. Common kanji. I don't recognize many of them. Wow, there's actually a lot. Oh, that's man and woman and child. That's watashi. I think that's boku. Oh no. That's left and right. That's up and down. That's big, middle, small. Mountain, river, sea. I think that's meat. That's kokoro. Okay, well that's it. I don't know why there's two different ones. Oh, Gibbons found it. DK94 art from the Mario Character Encyclopedia. Oh yes, I've seen that before. In the artwork, the tie says DK on it. Lovely, thank you for tracking that down. Cool stuff. All right, yeah. Other symbols. What do we got? The telephone classic. Cool. So those are the stamps. Let's leave. Yes. You can press B from pretty much any screen to leave it. Yeah, let's explore this menu. So every time you come into this menu, it's like a TV with a speaker there and the little buttons and a mock like brand name, Jupiter, who is the developer of the game, or one of. And usually it's that little boy. So when we go back here, oh, it's still her. Okay. The items menu has this guy, I am the man, where you can get a time lapse or take a selfie. Yeah, this boy is the one that's usually on this screen. Magic, trick lenses. So yeah, this is where this is where you can do different kinds of photos demonstrated here, half and half, panorama ones where many photos are stitched together. What is trick? Oh, okay. So, okay, interesting. Game face. This is sort of like a really early precursor to the Mii's, or that concept from the Mario Artist games on the Nintendo 64 disk drive, where you can shoot somebody's face and then their face will appear in the mini games that are here in the game. Let me see. Okay, so I haven't captured a recognized face, so I can't doodle on it, but there are pre-made ones, so this is one of them. And this is the ball mini game, which is one of the Game & Watch titles. It was later re-released as Mario the Juggler. So that's a rare Game & Watch that has two different releases with different themes. Yeah. So there's a few preloaded faces in there. When you go to the play menu, you can switch between them actually. So let's just, yeah, crush. One of, yeah, the failure face. All right, what else do we need to do here? Check. This lets you look at the photos you've taken. It can only store 30 on it. And run. Who are you running from? This is actually one of the secret screens. there's these sort of photos that have been doodled on to make them silly. Usually when you hit run, you get this screen. You are now crossing the equator. Jumbo Nintendo. Jumbo is... what language is that? Is it Swahili? It's an African language, hence why African is shown. Yeah. But if you keep hitting this button, you'll eventually get one of those scary faces. And there's a few that it cycles through. Oh, it's the same one. Well, I'm sure we'll see them at some point. View. What are we doing? Okay, here's the other DK content. It's just like the Donkey Kong original cabinet artwork. And we also have a snapjaw from Junior as our cursor. So slideshow you can go through... That's weird. Yeah, you go through the pictures you've taken. Aren't they amazing? We have two. One is blank and one has some stamps. And uniquely cut is the exit thing. That's pretty classy. Oh yeah, okay. That's one of the other scary faces. We have 32 songs to choose from too, so Hip Tanaka's working overtime here. I don't know what hotspot is. Oh, didn't we set that up with the little faces? Yeah. No? I don't know, whatever. This game has a lot of crazy things in it just for the sake of it. Yeah, so bizarre, isn't it? It's amazing. Alright, let's go back to the share menu because there was some other stuff there. Or did I already do all of this? Oh, here's something I should show you. View. So in the album, these are the photos we've taken in the A pages in this skeuomorphic diagram of a book. But if you cycle all the way over, you've got the B pages where you've got sort of pre-existing things. Some of them are sort of just frames or backdrops. That's all distorted, like it's a mistake, I don't know. But yeah, there's other ones too. I don't know what that is. Here's a sunflower field. Here's a guy's face. The dog, maybe the same one from before. Cloudy sky. Kaboom. A more different Kaboom, or possibly the same one. Some Pokemon sprites. And then these ones have to be unlocked. Now there's a bunch of like little achievements in this game. If you take a certain number of pictures, if you perform certain actions a certain number of times, then you will unlock more artwork for that that album. And one of them that you can unlock is part of the Donkey Kong Jr. cabinet artwork with Mario holding the whip and Junior holding a key, I believe. So there's your other Donkey Kong content in this game. Alright, so there are 3 mini-games, or 4 even. The first one, which is also the menu for selecting which mini-game you want to play, is this, Space Fever 2, which is a sequel to an old... Sorry, it's a sequel to an old Nintendo arcade game that was a shmup called Space Fever. They included a sequel to it inside Game Boy Camera, which is just amazing. So those 3 things that pop up at the start, if you shoot one of them, it'll take you to a different minigame, but if you let them go, then you can play this as a minigame. And the way to unlock the 3rd minigame, which is the question mark, is by getting 2,000 points in this minigame. So you'll see 3 different kinds of ships until finally a boss will come along. And the bosses make use of the face feature, which actually, now that I think of it, is more like Face Raiders, the preloaded game on the 3DS, where you can take a photo with the cameras and then shoot your family members who are flying around your living room in AR mode. So yeah, we've got a few different faces that pop up in this mode. There's 3 of them as you progress. But yeah, so we've seen Ball already, but I guess... Oh, okay, I accidentally hit this one. This is the unlockable one, Run, Run, Run. You can pick between faces. What's question mark face? Okay, I guess it's random then, because this is face number 2. Where you race against a bird and a mole to get to the end. Reminiscent of, I don't know, a Pokemon Stadium minigame, actually, now that I think of it. Man, that was a great party game. And not for any of the, like, Pokemon battle content, just the minigames alone were an amazing, like, multiplayer fun experience, I think. Cool. So that was under 22 seconds. I think that unlocks the credits. If you get under 17 seconds in that game, that's how you unlock the DK Jr. picture. And I was definitely unable to do that. So... oh, it didn't give me the credits. I don't know. And I don't know what flap does either. I didn't find that helpful at all. Alright, let's go back to ball. So there's 2 BGMs. And that face is just great. That's very WarioWare. Oh, okay, so we've seen this face. This is the one that was doodled, but there's another face based on a picture. A photo. Crush. Again. Oh, it's the same one. I don't want the same one. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to play Game & Watch games as like unlockable things. Wario Land 2, I think, has a remake of a Game & Watch game. I think it's Judge. Yeah, so some guy's face. Probably a Nintendo America employee or something. All of these preloaded faces are different in the Japanese version. Yeah, there's a lot to this thing. It's not just a little camera that you can take crappy digital photos with, and the photos do suck by digital camera standards. For the time, I guess it was probably impressive enough. And of course, you could connect it to the Game Boy printer. But the silly little experimental things that this game lets you do with your photos, yeah, are really the precursors to other things that they would do later, as I've been saying. So what is this? DJ mode. I don't know what this is. You can like adjust things and say like... yeah, of course, you've got 3 sound channels. Oh, fever dream. Yeah, I'd like to quit that, please. That was causing me some consternation. I don't know. I guess that's it. This is a weird little piece of software. There's a lot to explore and discover in it. And a lot of, yeah, some obscure Nintendo nods and shoutouts, as we saw, with a little Sky Skipper reference, and that is the only time that Sky Skipper has ever been acknowledged in another Nintendo game, to my knowledge. So that was the point of showing it. Yeah, so that is the end of the Sky Skipper stream. Thank you for joining me, and I feel adequately prepared for whenever Given and I cover this on a proper podcast. So stay tuned for that too. Whew. Oh, I should say here that I'm not going to be streaming again for the rest of September. Yeah, some work stuff came up and I have to work on certain days. So I had a big plan where I would play themed games for the whole month, but I can't play any games after this week until October. So, dang. So yeah, stay tuned for my big comeback for October, which will probably be a different theme, of course. I'm sure you can guess. But yeah, I'll see you in 4 weeks? 4 weeks, yeah, gosh. I'm gonna miss this. Oh well. Bye! Thanks for joining me on Sky Skipper. I hope you enjoyed it.